Hello again. This is the Apes on Knowledge YouTube channel as part of the Apes on Keys collective of various different brand assets and projects that I'm running today. I didn't have time to do a quick rundown last Friday. I'm going to try to make sure that I do this daily, regardless of where I am in the world and what is going on, including the AI Engineering World's Fair going on in San Francisco this week. Figured I'd show a very small thing that I did. There's a ton of value in these little projects, sometimes in communicating clearly to your team or to wider audiences. So I needed to do some mocks for communicating new pricing changes for our product. And I've had a bunch of narrative documents written sort of in traditional sort of Amazonian style since it's my background. Then I ended up sort of translating them into customer facing emails, rich, robust, dense, two different versions of it. And then went to communicate it to my team and, said, this is somewhat lacking in terms of its presentation because they couldn't grok or wrap their heads around what feature was going to fall within a given tier and how pricing was going to work. I had already written up a fairly lengthy narrative style document. So I just kind of went over to V0 and I said, boom, I dropped in the whole document itself and then added some details around what I wanted it to present in the table in order to make a point to my team. Made a few revisions here so that like features fell within the appropriate bucket. And then now I had this very simple presentation that I could share with the team in order to wrap their head around from an engineering perspective, sort of like role-based access control and feature role relationship, what feature went within which tier, what the pricing was associated, from a credit utilization perspective, how that was going to work. Narrative document was great. My mind works that way, but many people prefer visualization. So I took, a combination of these, emails to customers that I had initially written an internal document that I alluded to up here. And then I thought, okay, we'll go ahead and do this. And by the way, much cleaner presentation for the audience. And then, now I have an external artifact that I have, shared with the team, with customers. So when I went prior to rolling this out, getting feedback from customers on the actual price points for sensitivity purposes, which features was falling within which, I said, okay, it's confusing to try to walk them through a very long bullet form thing. I'm going to present it this way because this is how most pricing is presented with SaaS offerings. You get 3 sort of good, better, best or something like that with an emphasis on sort of the optimal pricing. And if you have any utilization details, if there's sort of a pay what you drink model, presenting them together. So as I was going through this, shared this with investor, shared this with customer, shared this with team, as opposed to like Google Doc that was super rich or Notion page that was super rich, great details, a lot of implementation details that are important, but not necessarily helpful for quickly conveying an idea. So I think when you're going to do something that, is better presented visually like this, if you don't have sort of the skills to do so rapidly like me, like I wasn't going to hop in Figma and do this. So I took what I had, kind of gave V0 what I needed. It's really good at these slick, one-off presentations. I knew I wasn't going to ever have to reuse this either. So I didn't have to get into the nitty-gritty of sort of cleanliness of code and portability and, would it compile locally and all those things. So if you're contemplating something like a pricing table or a presentation that's comparing cohort analysis or 3 different ICPs or things like that, I would strongly consider, customer profiles, that's another thing, or personas, strongly consider using V0 to just quickly encapsulate the detail for you if most of what you have is in narrative form. It's really, you've done some thought, you poured it over into this, visualization with V0. You now have an artifact that you can widely distribute. As a bonus, by the way, for putting this together, I quickly put this together in V0 as well to sort of guide the conversation. I'll aim to have these going forward. These literally take like 30 seconds, and there's no reason not to do them to guide a conversation like this. So I'll strongly suggest doing this for like goal setting and meetings as well. And then as a sneak peek on the next Apes on Knowledge video, we're going to talk about doing price sensitivity analysis through tools that are a little bit more fun, WYSIWYG, drag and drop. This is all fake data, by the way, but for those who don't want to live in an Excel spreadsheet, but have a lot of the information that you want to otherwise convey, similarly with sensitivity levers. So this is tomorrow's video. See you tomorrow. right here on the Apes on Knowledge YouTube channel. And by all means, definitely go buy merch at a-ok.shop because that's the little bit of money we're making off of this fun endeavor. Until tomorrow, Lucas Hickey, and looking forward to talking to you again.